Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? It's proclaim the greatest radio show.
It's that time of year again, fans. J-Dash brings you the best fantasy football coverage in the world.
Believe it.
It's a lot of pressure. What do we got for him
Sure.
today? 5 value picks?
Yeah, we're doing 5 value picks.
All right, now, Burger King has 2 Whopper value meals for $10. So what's a better value? Your 5 value picks for free or 2 Whopper meals for $10?
I don't know. Whoppers are good, dude.
You get the fries
Double
and the
pumps.
drink, too.
Believe it. But the drink's gross sometimes. Really, all of it's gross sometimes.
Woo. What do we got?
Well, let's start with a guy in the top 10 here, and I see him as a real value pick. Now, there's this website, fantasypros.com, and they actually have the average draft position from several websites all together, so it's nice.
So it's the Travelocity of fantasy football.
Yeah, pretty much, man. And Adrian Peterson is going at the average draft position of 5.7.
What? I'm still taking that dude in the top 3.
Believe it, man. Well, you talked about it before. Antonio Brown might be the number 1 overall pick.
Oh, he's my number 1
But they have Todd Gurley as the top running back on average, going at 3.8. But they have Odell Beckham Jr., number 2. Adrian Peterson, if he falls that far, man, in fact, I'd probably take him at number 2 behind Antonio Brown. I'm still thinking of whether or not I would take Antonio Brown number 1 overall, but he is actually taken first across the board, so it looks like he's the guy to take.
Antonio Brown?
Yeah.
Nice.
But Adrian Peterson, man, I'm definitely taking him top 3 at least, like you said.
Believe it.
But I'm taking him over Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah,
too. There's
screw
no
that
way.
dude. Eli Manning's garbage. Don't try to send me hate mail, New York fans. I know he's not really garbage. Relax.
Let's not forget either, man. There's not very many good running backs that you can
There are
completely
none.
trust. I mean, I'll trust Todd Gurley. I'll trust Le'Veon Bell if he
Where
comes
are you
back.
taking Levy
you know what
on
I
if
mean?
he's suspended 4 games?
I mean, we'll have to see. Maybe
I'm still taking him at
top
5th.
10. Yeah, you're still taking him top 10. I mean, you almost have to, man, because there's not that many good running backs.
Believe
I
it.
hate how fantasy football's turning into just all passing, man. It sucks.
PPR, fool.
I mean, you got to just get lucky with the running back sometimes. But that's why I'm taking Adrian Peterson so early, is because, I mean, look at the Minnesota Vikings, man. They have
got
Teddy
Terry
Bridgewater. Yeah. I mean, they don't have a good passing game at all, and they're going to be run heavy, and Adrian Peterson's a beast. All right, let's move on here, man. How about someone for the San Diego Chargers? He's going at the average draft position of 28.5.
Danny Woodhead?
No, it is Keenan Allen, man.
I thought for sure it was going to be Danny Woodhead.
No, that would be way too high.
Or his cousin, Buddy Smallwood, or whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah, Smallwood. We'll talk about him in another segment in the future. But Keenan Allen, man, this guy, before he got hurt last season, man, he was leading all fantasy wide receivers in many categories, man. He might have been the top receiver, actually, when he went down. And they brought in Travis Benjamin. That's a little bit of an upgrade at the wide receiver position. So that should take some pressure off of Keenan Allen when he is healthy.
Antonio
I think
Gates
he's
is
going to
healthy
stay
now, too.
Yeah,
so that'll
Antonio
draw
Gates.
coverage.
I mean, they got rid of Ladarius Green, obviously, so that takes a little something away.
Good.
But Phillip Rivers, I mean, he's not going to win you a Super Bowl or anything, man,
Nope,
but
but
he
he'll
can
throw
pass
the
the ball
ball
around. And I think San Diego might be passing the ball a lot again this season. I mean, it's Melvin Gordon and Danny Woodhead in the backfield again, so I don't know. I see a lot of passing, and we've seen Keenan Allen killing it when he was healthy. So at that position, man, what's that? That's in the 3rd round. I mean, that's a number 1 receiver to me in the 3rd round.
Please believe. What, did he have, a lacerated spleen or something like that? Kidney problem?
Yeah, I can't even.
Messed
Yeah,
up an
something
organ.
like that. He's going as high as number 19. The lowest he's going is 36th. So there you go, man. I'd definitely take that guy in the 2nd round if I still need.
Definitely better than the Whopper value meal.
Believe it.
Those will put you in the bathroom for 26 minutes.
I'm going to go with a guy right behind him as well. Actually, he has the same average draft position, 28.5, and that is Thomas Rawls from the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, solid pick.
Yeah, believe it, man. Again, this is 3rd round, and we're talking about running backs, something that you really need to win, but there's not very many of. And, I mean, if he's healthy, man, he's the starting running back. So, Seattle, they're going to run the ball a ton, and it's not just because of Marshawn Lynch why they ran the ball so well, So, if he did happen to fail, though, I also like Christian Michael, but he's more of a sleeper pick, and we'll talk about him in the future. But Thomas Rawls, man, I'm definitely taking him if he's there in the third round, and really, I wouldn't mind taking him in the second either.
I know firsthand last year I signed him as soon as Lynch went down. I was watching the games, and I just picked up my phone, signed him in both leagues, and he ended up rushing for like 200 yards or something like that in the first game. So the dude's beast. Like you said, Seattle's going to run the ball. Russell Wilson will throw it a little more, but they're still going to feature the running game. This guy could average 4.8 to like 5.1 a carry the way they run it, so he's going to get you a lot of points.
Well, you look at what they have at receiver. Jimmy Graham, he needs to step it up this season. He needs to have a bigger season. They have Tyler Lockett out there. I really like this guy. In fact, I mean, he could get a couple carries this season, to tell you the truth, because that guy can do a ton of stuff, and he can do stuff in the special teams as well.
Doug Baldwin might put up 14 touchdowns again this year or whatever he got last year.
Yeah, Doug Baldwin. Yeah, he was all right, man.
I hate him.
I don't trust him in fantasy, though.
Me either at all.
Well, let's talk about another running back here going at 35.3 average draft position, and that is Matt Forte, man. And
for the Jets.
Yes, I know. It's a big question of we know the talent's there. It's a big question of whether or not the stats can go from Chicago to the New York Jets. I mean, we've seen it happen with Brandon Marshall, though. So, I mean, that's one thing. But
they got the professor, quarterback.
Yes, that's another big thing. That might be a reason why he's going so low here. You might see him start to go up a little bit now that they got a little bit better of a quarterback signed to the team. But if he stays low, or if your draft's coming up soon or something, I mean, I'd take advantage of Forte in the third round like that. Well, actually, yeah, that's at the very end of the third round if he went at something like 35 or 36. So, I mean, this is, to me, I mean, he's a guy I'd take in the second round if I'm looking for a running back for sure. And, I mean, the New York Jets run the ball a ton. I mean, they have to.
Run the ball and play good defense. That's how you win football games.
They got some good receivers out there, too. I know Eric Decker isn't flashy or anything, but he had a big season last year. And, he's always been a solid receiver. And, obviously, Brandon Marshall.
He bet a car to Antonio Brown, so Marshall better step up.
All right, let's talk about one more guy here. And he is going about 36.5, and that is Kelvin Benjamin. I think he's going to have a big year. I know there's questions about it, but again, this is fourth round. I think he can turn into a number one type talent, especially with Cam Newton out there. You got Devin Funchess as the number 2 receiver right now. So, I mean, we said when Kelvin Benjamin went down last year that Devin Funchess isn't going to completely just step into what Kelvin Benjamin was, because Benjamin was a beast. Funchess, he didn't even come close to that. He had a couple good games. I don't even know if he had more than 3 catches in any game, though. So he's the number 2 out there. I mean, you got Greg Olsen as well, and he's a big target, and he's going to be a huge part of this offense. But Kelvin Benjamin's the obvious number 1 out there, and Cam Newton can throw the ball around, obviously.
What's the chances of Carolina repeating the performance on offense that they had last year?
Well, I mean, if they want to do it, Kelvin Benjamin's a big way to help that, but I don't think they're going to be as good all around. I think they're going to have to rely on, I don't think they're going to be as good of a team. I mean, it's hard to go, what'd they go last year, 15-1?
15-1, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, you can't do that 2 seasons in a row. So there's going to be some more games where they're behind, and they're going to have to be passing, and Benjamin's going to be the number 1 target if he's healthy.
Big money.
And right now they're saying he is healthy and ready to go for training camp. So I'm taking this guy, especially if he goes here in the late 3rd, early 4th. If he's sitting there, man, you're going to want to grab that up, because that could be your second wide receiver.
Believe it. And in our league, we don't have kickers, so we have a lot of flex players.
Yeah, we will be talking about no kickers.
Yeah, kickers are garbage.
But I think that's the top 5 value picks in the top 40 players. I think if you came up with those guys right there, your team would be looking beast.
Believe it. You heard it here first, folks. That's the 5 players you need to target in your draft, and if you don't get them, your team is garbage. Questions or comments, hit us up on Twitter at bet_the_spread. Hit me up on Twitter at betjimthewin. Keep coming back to the Facebook page at facebook.com/betthespread. We post a bunch of fun stuff there, a bunch of fun articles, fun J-fantasy information. Really, none of it's fun at all. It's all quite boring. Keep coming back to youtube.com/betthespread. Click on the episodes. Listen to them. Don't listen to them. We prefer that you actually do, though.